It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct in the other opposite direction. In short, the period was so like the present day that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on it being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only. And of course, that was Charles Dickens. But very much like the day we live in today. So today, in light of that, I would like to talk about a very important subject that is very important to me, and I think a very important concept that we can embrace at this particular time, and that's living in the moment, living in the present moment. Something that I have struggled with greatly in my life, and it's because of those two awesome eternities, the past and the future. Now, the past, I think I probably struggle with that more than just about anybody, because there was a period of time when, and years went, I went through two periods, and these periods were long periods, like years, when I just beat myself up. And I honestly believe that I had made more mistakes than anybody who had ever lived. And I mean, of course, that was absolutely ridiculous. But at the time, it seemed real to me, and I was stuck. And even though people tried to convince me that I was wrong, I couldn't see it, or I just wouldn't see it. I wouldn't believe it. I was really stuck. That almost destroyed me, really. I mean, I was suicidal for, a lot of those periods, just because I was so disturbed by the past. And now I've come to the point where I don't regret anything. If I had to live my life over, I wouldn't change a thing. But that's because I'm in reality now, where there was times when I wasn't in reality. And I mean, so many people go through this, so the past can really destroy us. But the other great eternity is the future. And I mean, I've gone through that in spades too. I mean, there was times when I used to just pretty much shake in my boots thinking, well, what's going to happen? Am I going to end up living on the street? What if this happens? What if that happens? And I mean, it's all could happen. I mean, like really, like right now, even at this moment, I mean, I could walk out in the street today and get killed. Could happen. I don't think it will, but it could. I could all of a sudden feel a pain here and and say, oh, what's that pain? Go to my doctor and say, you got cancer and you're dying. You got 2 weeks left to live. I mean, it could happen. I don't think it will. I hope it won't, but I mean, it could. Anything could happen. But if you focus on it and you obsess on it, I mean, you're fucked, because you're just going to worry about what's going to happen. And when we don't know, because the future is unborn and we have no idea what's going to happen. But anyway, I mean, I struggle with those big time. And but fortunately, I've come to understand that the only thing we really have is this moment right now. So right now, I'm trying to do the best I can to do this podcast, and to do it in a way that hopefully you can learn something, and I can help you to learn what I've learned, and your life can be better as a result of this. Even though despite what I've said, there's never been a time in history when the future has been more frightening than the moment right now that we're in. So it's the best of times and it is the worst of times. It really, really is. And I just want to, just one story kind of came to my mind as I'm speaking here, and this was many years ago, and I'm an alcoholic, as you know, you all know, long time. Uh, but this was going back about 30 years ago, and I went to for about 28 days. I went to a program called the Renaissance program at the Renaissance House, and it was kind of like 24-hour day AA. You know, where there was a group of about 24 of us, and sometimes we would break into little groups. And one day we were in a group, and I think there was about 8 of us, and we were sitting around this round table, and we were having a meeting. And the facilitator of that meeting, he said, 1 year from now, one of us sitting at this table here will be dead. One of us will be dead. And statistically speaking, he was correct, because alcoholism is a deadly disease and it kills many, many people and it destroys lives. And I think you all know that. But anyway, it was kind of sobering to realize just how serious a disease it is. And I know that, you know, there was a lot of reasons why I should be dead. But I'm just so thankful that I'm still alive, and that was a long time ago. And I've never been happier than I am now. And it's largely because I've learned to live in the moment. And one of the big things about living in the moment is acceptance. And you've probably heard this because it's one of the most popular prayers probably in the entire world. And it's something that is read in 12-step programs all the time. And it's the serenity prayer. And I think it goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I mean, that's so beautiful. And it's so profound. But acceptance. Accept the things I cannot change. And we live in a world, and we didn't create the world, but we were born into this world. And a lot of things that happen, you look at history and all the, you know, the tragic things, you know, that have happened in history. You know, it's not our fault. You know, we didn't bring that to pass, and we were born into this world, and the insanity that you know we experience. We didn't create that. It's not, you know, so we just have to accept that we were born into a world, and the world is the way it is. All we can do is the best we can. That's all we're responsible for, is doing the best we can every moment that we're alive. And if you adopt that philosophy and you live according to that and you practice that, your life will change. I know my life has changed. Anyway, I've learned a lot from this man. His name is Deepak Chopra. And I just wanted to read, I was thinking about this earlier, so I marked off a page here. And I just want to read what Deepak Chopra said, you know, in regards to living in the moment, basically, and acceptance, you know, because what he said was really profound. It's meant a lot in my life. He talked about the law of detachment. He said, in detachment lies the wisdom of uncertainty. In the wisdom of uncertainty lies the freedom from our past, from the known, which is the prison of past conditioning. In our willingness to step into the unknown, the field of all possibilities, we surrender ourselves to the creative mind that orchestrates the dance of the universe. And he also said, every single problem that you have in life is the seed of an opportunity for some greater benefit. Once you have that perception, you open up to a whole range of possibilities. And this keeps the mystery, the wonder, the excitement, the adventure alive. So that's just so great what he wrote, and so true. And it it gives us the opportunity, to live in the moment and to accept the unknown, because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. All we know, all we're responsible for is doing the best that we can, living according to our truth, and having the courage to be the people that we are. We can do that every moment we're alive. And that makes life exciting and the adventure alive. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today, was living in the moment. And I just wanted to read something else that I think is very beautiful, and it comes from the prophet. To everything there is a season. Turn, turn, turn. A time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to reap. To everything there is a season. Turn, turn, turn. There is a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. To everything there is a season. Turn, turn, turn. And that there is a time for every purpose under heaven. A time when you may embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time for rain and a time to sow, a time to love and a time to hate. I swear it's not too late. John Kennedy said, there's only one thing necessary for tyranny to succeed, and that's for good men to stand by and say nothing. All that we need to do is to do the best we can, to have the courage to be the person that we are, to speak our truth and to be who we are, and to be there for the other guy. Every moment we're alive, if that is our challenge, that is our destiny, that's all we have to do, the best we can. So anyway, it's really an exciting journey. And I think I've said what I wanted to say, because this has been such an important principle for me, and I live it every moment that I'm alive, and I'm living it right now, and it's kind of helped me to face those two awesome eternities, yesterday and tomorrow, which almost destroyed me. But it gives me purpose, and that's one thing that we really need, is purpose, just to live in the moment and to do the best we can. And I just want to leave you with one Orwellian principle. And that is, in times like this, telling the truth is regarded as a revolutionary act. But have the courage to be who you really are and to stand up and do the best you can. So till next time, always, 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 always question. And we'll see you next time.